USAA knows dynamic duos can save the day, like superheroes and sidekicks or auto and home insurance. With USAA, you can bundle your auto and home and save up to 10%. Learn more and get a quote at usaa.com/bundle. Restrictions apply.
With a major selection of the looks your kiddos love starting at just $4 in the Walmart app, a new school year means a stylish new them. Who knew? Find skater skirts and Crocs that say, I'm casual but cool. Sparkly sneakers that say, it's my classroom, you're just learning in it. And preppy polos that say, I'm the teacher's pet, even if they're mommy's menace at home. Find their favorite styles starting at just $4 in the app. The Walmart you thought you knew is now new.
Hey guys, I'm actually talking with you on a new computer right now.
You got an IBM something or other?
No, I've gotten my first Apple computer in over a decade. I used to be a big-time Apple user, and one of the main things that was the big selling point was that they couldn't be hacked, or at least they weren't as vulnerable as PCs.
Yeah, that's not true, though.
Well, back in the day, Apple used to be regarded as a lot more secure because the fact it was supposed to be thought of as almost unhackable. A big part of that was because the fact they had a lot smaller market share. There were only 2% of the computers on the market. 98% of the people were using Windows computers. So that just meant that if you wanted to really hack into someone, that was a lot bigger of a target.
So what brought you home?
Ease of use. It's a nice little laptop and everything like that. It definitely looks a lot cleaner and everything. And, I definitely think it plays a lot more nicely with an iPhone. But the main thing I've been finding, too, though, is that luster has faded about it being more secure these days.
Well, because there's so many people who are on Apple now that they're just as big a target, if not bigger, than PC users.
Exactly. And the difference there is that if you have an Apple computer, chances are you also have, say, an Apple Watch, an Apple phone. And so you have a full range of things that can be hacked. Whereas the average Windows user, let's face it, they're not using a Windows phone. I don't even know if they make Windows phones anymore.
So you've chugged the Apple Kool-Aid.
Exactly. I'm hoping not to end up like Snow White here. But yeah.
But, speaking about Snow White and curses and witches and bad people, Apple had a problem a little while ago, didn't they?
Yeah, there was they've had a line of, or a long string of emergency patches of late. They've found several really high profile vulnerabilities, but the most recent one was called a zero-click vulnerability.
Now, what's that?
Usually if you get, say, any kind of email thing, if you get a phishing email with a suspicious attachment on it, you need to click on it. You need to open it up, or you need to install it, or it takes
I thought you weren't supposed to click on it, or...
Right. And
you need to get infected, you mean?
Exactly.
Correct. Got you.
Yeah. So a lot of these things, the most common malware out there requires some sort of action on the target's behalf.
To work.
Exactly. So you'll see something saying like urgent, click here, or here's your invoice, or anything at all like that. A zero-click exploit is something that requires no action on the part of the target.
So it's made for Jason Bourne, not me. This sounds just like Apple back in the day. I don't need to worry.
Right. Sort of. It's actually been linked to the Pegasus spyware, which is a very, very controversial program. Yeah.
And the folks who developed this, the Pegasus software, what was it?
The NSO Group, they're called. It's a cybersecurity and tech company operating out of Israel.
And as I understand it, they say that they have a, quote, code of ethics relative to the countries they work for, because apparently they're very country-oriented. However, some questions have been raised about how strict that code of ethics really is, since there are some questionable regimes that they've been working for, right?
Yeah, exactly. There was a leak recently in the last several months that showed 50,000 people have been targeted by the Pegasus spyware. And that includes journalists, some heads of state, diplomats, human rights advocates, and the like.
This is countries using this stuff, right? Mm-hmm. How does this affect Adam or me or you?
It's debatable. It depends on what kind of line of work you're in. I think one of the main things about it is it shows the sophistication and the availability of a vulnerability here. They were able to create a type of malware that could be sent to anyone that could receive an iMessage. So it's less about whether or not you're being targeted. I don't think Apple would have scrambled that quickly to release a patch if there wasn't any general danger to folks. But the type of access this malware has, it can access and turn on your phone. It can intercept communications, including encrypted communications being sent through Signal. So
it can even use your phone when you're not using it.
That's right.
And so the thing that I was thinking, Adam, is that this exploit is like other exploits we've seen that started as an NSA or NSO program, but then got leaked. And then people who are even less trustworthy than the people who we may not trust in government agencies have access to them.
Well, not only that, but we've learned that anytime you have anything that creates a backdoor, and it is created for, let's say, governmental use, sometimes tends to fall into the wrong hands because those government agencies have been hacked. In this case, you don't really know what it's doing, where it's doing, and who's behind it all. So it can be pretty scary.
And those government agencies may be doing business with people in trading, horse trading. You know, we have no idea how people are getting this stuff.
In other words, if you get me this intelligence, I'll give you a little access to this. I mean, unfortunately, it's done all the time. But anyway, Travis, big question. Is it fixed now?
It's supposed to be fixed now. So the most recent iOS update, which again, Apple scrambled to get this out the door. And they urged everyone with any device that has anything resembling a piece of fruit on it to update. But I think from a tech point of view, the thing that's most interesting and perhaps most frightening here is that Apple had already announced that they had fixed this with recent versions of their operating system. They developed something called Blastdoor, which, again, that sounds like it's supposed to be super secure. It didn't take too long for NSO Group to find a way around it. And if they could do that, this is just an example of them getting discovered. We have no idea how many similar things there could be out there.
Okay, so we go from the extremely high tech to the fact that most of us, when we're hacked, it's so low tech. It's so just dangle the lure in front of me and see if I bite.
Right.
And that is something that happened to our next guest.
I'm Adam Levin, former director of the New Jersey Division of Consumer Affairs, founder of CyberScout, author of Swiped, How to Protect Yourself in a World Full of Scammers, Phishers, and Identity Thieves.
I'm Beau Friedlander, a person who is often lurking in the background trying to get hacked.
I'm Travis Taylor, resident tech guy and often lurking behind Beau trying to hack him.
Adam!
Beau!
I want you to meet my friend Ivana. And I'm going to try to say your last name because I think, Ivana, I've always just known you as Ivana, but you're Miličević, are you not?
You nailed it.
That's because my nickname is Maimonchinon.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And you know that means monkey.
Monkey!
Yeah. So, Adam, Ivana is a friend of mine, and I would like to introduce her to you. She is an actress. She is a mom. She is a person who lives in Ireland. She's amazing, and she got hacked.
Yeah.
And Ivana, I have two words for you, Bond and Banshee.
Yes. Yes.
Why do you have those words?
Yeah.
Because Ivana is a famous actress, and it's really exciting to have a celebrity. For years, our biggest celebrity was Beau, and now we have a bigger celebrity, and I'm very excited about that.
Oh,
well, thanks, guys.
You're famous to me just as, Ivana. But it's nice to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
It's really not nice to have you here because you're not here for an awesome reason. But before we get into that, Adam, I'm sure you have some questions for Ivana.
I do. So
Tell me.
You're living in Dublin now, rumor has it?
Well, I am because I fell in love with an Irishman. And then we had been living long distance between Los Angeles, Vancouver, Croatia, like everywhere where I was working since we were together. And then I got pregnant and was working. And 2 years of my son's life, we were traveling like that. So then 2020 was going to be the year I spent in Ireland supporting him. And then COVID happened, and then I really liked Ireland, and here I am still. I mean, I still have a place in LA, but I am mostly here. It's a great place to raise kids.
What was Paddy doing? Now, your husband's Paddy. What was he doing? What were you supporting him doing?
he has an incredible restaurant here called Nut Butter. And it's very California inspired, although I've never been to anything like it anywhere else. It is like healthy food, but flavors like you've never had before. Listen, I'm a pizza and burger girl, and I love this food.
What kind of food is it?
It would be like, it's like a mix of all these different things. So like, it's flexitarian. So people who are completely vegan can go eat with meat eaters and be super healthy. So it's not like fake meats. There's like beautiful Irish brisket tacos, say, but then you can also have jackfruit tacos. So it's not like jackfruit is turned into a burger patty. It's just jackfruit seasoned in a way that makes you feel like it might be pulled pork.
All right, Beau and I will be calling a little later to get a reservation.
You are more than welcome.
No, I really want to go.
It's not far from New York.
No, it's only like 5 hours away, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So as an actress, I would love to know, because I'm a movie fanatic. Two-part question. Question number one, what's your favorite movie ever? And question number two is, what is your favorite movie that you were in?
Okay. Favorite movie ever, if I can only pick one. I mean, a top three would be easier. I'm going to say 2001: A Space Odyssey. Because at least that's
do three. Come on, do three.
Okay. 2001: Space Odyssey. I love Amadeus.
Okay.
Okay.
And it should be five, but and then let's say, I really love Shawshank Redemption too.
What is your favorite movie that you've appeared in?
I'm going to say it's not a movie. I think that my favorite thing I've done to date is probably Banshee, even though I know it's not a movie. And if you said movie, I would probably not give you what you wanted, because it would be Head Over Heels, which is this like girly chick flick, but it was just so much fun. It was my first kind of time getting to be a comedian, which is my first love, really. Now I'm this like dramatic badass, which is weird. And then Banshee, because I really gave it absolutely everything I had. Mind, body, spirit, sweat, tears, bruises, nudity. I mean, I everything was there. So that was really special.
Did you enter into it, Ivana, as a person who knew how to do all that fighting?
I knew I was going to take to it, put it that way.
Okay.
Do you know, like I wasn't a fighter, but I knew I could move, and I knew I could pick up choreography. And even the way the fights are structured, I don't know how much of it you've seen or not, because I know I'm in it a lot. But it's still structured. The fights are choreographed in a way that I look really good. In other words, I'm excellent with my hands. You don't see me doing crazy kicks because my feet are a mess. But I'm really powerful in my upper body, and with my legs as a base.
We are all huggers. We are not hugging at the moment, and none of us are naked at the moment. So therefore,
and I've never been in a fist fight my entire life. True story.
Almost, though. I remember that time. But anyway.
I was just hoping you'd mention Red Alert 3 personally.
Red Alert 3. Command and Conquer.
Yeah, exactly.
Travis was, when I asked Travis what his favorite thing that you were in about that, he was like, yeah, Red Alert.
That's awesome. Wait, do you remember my character's name? I remember how she sounded.
Yeah, I remember the voice. I don't remember the name exactly. But yeah between that and Castlevania, that's sort of the geek creds. Yeah.
Oh, nice. I love that I'm part of these geeky things.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Paris. You know I love sparkly things, right? Like stars. Duh. And thanks to Hilton and AutoCamp, I just slept under them. Picture me serving looks by the fire outside my luxurious Airstream, making s'mores with the kids, while a national park is our backdrop. The great outdoors meets Hilton hospitality. That's hot. Explore all the new ways to stay at Hilton.com. Hilton for the stay.
This episode is sponsored by Friskies, who would like to tell your cats hi. Now, if that didn't get your cat's attention, there's one thing that always does the trick. Just pour some Friskies crunchy food in the bowl and you'll hear those paws come running. Works every time. With so many Friskies choices, you can always bring your cats running from their secret napping spots. There's always more to explore. See for yourself at friskies.com or visit your local store.
So what brings you to us today?
Oh, I'll tell you, I got fished. like a bitch. One Tuesday morning on my Instagram, like early morning, to be fair, I was doing the master cleanse. So I was a little bit loopy to begin with. It was early in Ireland, which means it was late in Los Angeles, even later in New York, but it would have been similar time, like 6:37 in Europe. And I got I was just going through my Instagram messages in the morning like you do. And I get a message talking about like looking real official in my Instagram inbox from Instagram support, talking about how I violated some copyright, which as an actor and a model, like you'd never want to think that I, maybe use somebody's images. So I looked in and not only did I try to give them what they wanted immediately, because they're like, to appeal this, click here. But I immediately was like, let me appeal this immediately. Let me handle this real quick before I even get out of bed. And I don't know if the damage was done the moment I clicked on it or when I was trying to give them my password. Because I forgot. I know that it would never be in app. I was just groggy. I know not to give my stuff. But that's...
Well, let's start by attributing it. To the cleanse. That really did it. That got you
that didn't help.
Not as focused as you should have been. And so therefore, and again, one of the things that Beau and I have always talked about with Travis is that hackers and scammers always rely on the fact that someone is going to be distracted and they're going to dump something on them that is going to demand almost an immediate response if they're a responsible person. And as a result, you basically took the bait. You took the bait. So, so you gave them your user ID and password.
I don't know. You guys tell me. I still don't know if it happened the moment I clicked on the link.
No, it didn't.
Because I don't know that I remember. Because remember one time I couldn't remember my username and password. And I actually wrote to whatever it was saying, I'm having trouble remembering my username and password, because it's all in my devices. It's not like I'm logging in and out all the time.
Right.
So I remember even asking them to help me, which they didn't. I must have done it correctly at some point. You're right. And then I immediately, like the moment I was like, what have I done? And I immediately changed all my passwords, but I think it was too late.
That would make a good cybersecurity t-shirt. I must have done it correctly at some point. But Travis,
that's only funny to you guys because you even know what that means.
Well, but it's also funny because in your case, we'll get into it, but there's some humor here. Thank God.
Oh, yes.
But Travis, did it happen when she clicked or did it happen when she provided her password?
I'd say with about 99.9% certainty was when you provided your password.
Yeah,
that's
Sorry.
I mean, there could have been some sort of like high level malware or something like that you can download when you click on a link. But if you gave your password, that was almost certainly it.
I just was never certain that I gave them my actual password. That's the only reason why I'm confused. Otherwise, I would not be trying to cover myself by being,
Well, did it take you to any sort of a prompt to enter your password, for instance?
It did. But I entered it incorrectly.
Oh, okay.
And it wouldn't let me fix it.
Okay.
We figured out.
That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the hack part that happened to you.
I had only just found out because, again, I'm not on there that much, too much, but not that much. Like people told me before I realized it, put it that way. My friends with my phone number texted me before I knew what was going on. In fact, you guys might have been my third call with already a solution. When it was like, yo, babe, I think you got hacked. Don't worry. Beau knows a guy. So before I even knew what happened, somebody, which is my good luck, which I know everyone's not that lucky. And by the way, I got hacked through my friends. They were using my friend's profile to get to me. That's what they had parasited, or what do you even call that? Like it was a different name, but it was through their account that they got to me.
Daisy chaining. Yep.
Daisy chaining. Travis, so I know that you know this hack well at this point. So daisy chaining, or how did her friends get into get to Ivana? How did that part work?
Well, the way that Instagram in particular works is that it's connected to your phone or your phone number. So if you get in, if you can compromise one account, that means you have all those other contacts, both by way of the phone, but also the Instagram account. So that then you can reach out just by way of a DM to other people and then give them links and so on. It also helps them to identify, even if they're going to be claiming to be operating on behalf of Instagram tech support, they now know your account name and your account info, just because the fact that if they're in one account, they can see some of the information for all their connections on there. That includes primarily phone numbers. That's a big one.
You know, the general advice we also give to people, and it's really true, is that oftentimes one person is not the actual target. It's someone else, someone they know, but they use familiarity in order to get in and then get to that other person.
Are you saying that when they got into my account, they could get into my actual physical phone to know the numbers? Because that's what I was afraid of. That's what you're like waiting for. Or you're saying because on Instagram, some people have their phone numbers up there.
Not as such. When you sign into Instagram, it gives you an option to sync your contacts. In other words, to let you know other people who are on your phone what their accounts are on Instagram.
Okay.
And so when you do that,
but they don't necessarily know their numbers to then call.
Yeah.
My celebrity friends or whatever.
No, but it is why you got targeted. And there is it's a more mechanical hack. Once they have control of your account, they can send out messages from your account.
But they weren't sending it as me.
So Guinevere did get a message
from
saying,
me.
Yeah, saying you have done a copyright infringement. I think.
But it was me. But the one I got was, it didn't look like, when you go deeper, you're like, why is that coming from Ivana's account? But it's not our name. It's not my name on top, at least the one I got. I don't know what Guinevere got.
So she got one right after we saw that your account was hacked. She got one saying your account has, committed the whatever, right? And she said, is this a hack? And I said, yeah, 100%. And that was the end of it. So that's how I know that no click was the cause, but the handing over the information was. But this scam in particular was something that's an API-based scam. The API lets the Instagram and a third party know that they are connected. And Instagram uses that to pass information back and forth. Now, some people control their social accounts through other websites that you can do: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all at the same time. Hootsuite is one of them. What is it called again? TweetSuite. Hootsuite. Yeah. At any rate, Instagram communicates with Hootsuite through an API. And as I understand it, this hack worked by having the API connecting to a Hootsuite-like service, gave the hackers an opportunity to then change Ivana's login information.
Yeah, the phone number and the email address on the account.
And where they were located. I didn't understand why, one, they let everyone know I was hacked by, putting all those pictures up.
Yeah.
So I don't understand it just didn't seem...
That was to make you scared and make you cough up some money.
Which they never asked for.
Which is weird. And what's weirder yet, Adam?
Yes.
They were in Turkey. And Instagram was not able to just go, duh.
That's
why is she in Turkey and Ireland? Yeah.
No. And not only that, here's the thing. I am a user that's based in Los Angeles. When I set up my account, I was in Los Angeles. Okay. I live in Ireland. Do you think I went to Instagram and was like, well, they ought to know that now I'm based in Ireland. Who cares? I still go back and forth.
But
so when this all happened, they can know all they want. My point is, when all of a sudden I'm changing my info to Turkey, that they weren't like, this is weird. Let's freeze it. My biggest issue with all of this is that I was lucky I had you hooked me up with Andre and Lifears. How about the people who need their 1,000 followers for their small business? They can't. They have no recourse. It's not like there's a number to call on Instagram or Facebook or any of these places. It drives me crazy.
I hear you. But Adam, I would like you to just take this opportunity to explain who Andre is.
Andre is a forensic expert. He really is a superstar when it comes to cybersecurity. He's one of the guys you read about that you don't necessarily see. He's an ethical hacker, and he runs a company that specializes in basically helping highly placed individuals, companies. They're there for all that. We have horror story after horror story after horror story about people desperately trying to contact these massive platforms and ending up with nothing but crickets. They just don't get a response. These platforms are not tracking as well as they should. I mean, Travis, we've seen situations where, you'll log into something and it will go unfamiliar device. So then they send a code and everything else. And it should have, coming from Turkey, should have been considered unfamiliar, correct?
It did. I did get an email that I didn't see.
You did. Got one about it.
Yeah, but look how quickly it all happened, though. Like,
so fast.
Like they gave me very little time to see it.
Yeah.
Right.
Again, I'm not sitting at a desk all day seeing my emails come up.
No, and they are. And that is the difference. So you're not looking at your emails every 10 seconds, but the hackers are relying on the fact that they can go faster than you can in terms of authentication and reconfirming their account. Let's back up. So you wake up in the morning and you are told that you're a criminal. And you're like, well, but I don't want to be a criminal, especially not that kind of criminal, because that's how I make a living. So you go, okay, well, I'll do something about this. You're the thing that you immediately do is that you provide your password to whoever's
Instagram, who already has it, of course. But
fair enough. So you give it to Instagram. Now, what are you thinking then? Do you go back to bed?
No, I immediately changed my passwords, or so I thought.
And then what?
Then I went about my day. I thought I changed it. I even said to my husband, I was like, "Oh, I think I almost got hacked."
That goes under the famous last words category.
I think so.
And then the next thing you got was calls from us and other friends?
Yeah, pretty much. Later that day, I think. Oh, and I started to get WhatsApp messages from the guy in Turkey, and he was like, "Hi, I'm so sorry. I have your account, but I want to give it back to you. Please, I'm so sorry. Here's the password for your account so you can get it back." So I don't know. Now, I don't know if he was seeing what I was going to do. Like, if I log into that, then he can get into more stuff. Travis?
Well, I have a question.
If he never asked for money.
No.
I never responded either, though.
So he provided you with a link and a password?
He provided me with the link. It would have been good if I charged my phone so I can tell you exactly what he said. But he provided me with he's like, this is your username or whatever it was, and here's the password, which of course I didn't touch because at that point I didn't trust anyone or anything.
He was trying to get deeper.
But he never asked for money, and he was like, "I'm so sorry, these emojis, like, I'm so sorry, I want to give it back to you." But of course you can't even trust that.
Travis?
Yeah, it sounds like he was trying to give you more malware to get even deeper into your accounts.
Yeah.
The question that I have is what are you thinking when you see the WhatsApp messages? Are you feeling like you're getting hacked further, or are you feeling like,
yes, now I don't trust anyone. And even when you hooked me up with Andre, I'm like, who's Andre? Like, what? Like, all of a sudden you feel like you're in the game. That Michael Douglas movie, you know what I mean? All of a sudden you're like, I'm like, is this really Guinevere? Is this really Beau? Is this really anyone? Because social media and computers, everything is made so that everyone can use them. Right. We don't know what we're doing. They're just simple clicks. I mean, it's no different than a light switch. So we're not computer experts in the slightest, even though we're using all of these really powerful devices that are capable of so much more than what we know what to do with them, including these social media platforms.
So now my second question on this WhatsApp part is, did that happen before or after I put you in touch with Andre?
I think it might have all been happening at around the same time because he told me to turn on my LA phone, if I remember correctly.
Andre
did. And because that's what was connected to it. And so then I started to do exactly what he said to do. And then then it all started to happen very quickly. So my LA phone came online finally. I charged it, turned it on. I started to get messages from the hackers. And I think Andre started to play dueling hacker piano with the hacker. And it eventually got to the point where one of them had the number and one of them had the email. So both were locked out. Like I think Andre managed to secure my email or an email for the account, and the hacker still managed to secure the phone number or something like that.
Without naming the secret sauce, we also know that Andre had a lifeline where he called called the troops in to help him a little bit.
Yes, exactly. But that didn't happen till I don't know actually at what point he started using them.
But I just wondered if the WhatsApp stuff started like because he kicked the hornet's nest.
I wonder, and also I know that if we're keeping it a secret, geez, so mysterious. His in that helped him with my account. What happened with that? He asked me, I don't know how to say this with that. He asked me if it was okay if we wanted to go after them, because he said that if the hacker asked for money, then it elevates the crime.
Yeah. So the person that Andre, since we can't really clarify beyond what we're talking about here, Andre pulled his car up to another car, sort of,
and asked, "Do you have any
under
Grey
a bridge
Poupon?
somewhere?" And they opened their windows, and he said, "Yo,
Do you have any Grey Poupon?"
Yeah, you have any Grey Poupon?
I love that you get that.
And it really was incredibly kind of President Putin to intervene on your behalf, you know.
I know, it really was. But he's always had a crush on me, so.
Well, that's true.
He loves Banshee.
This episode is brought to you by Nespresso Virtual Coffee Machines. Ready to enjoy the bold flavors of barista-quality Nespresso iced coffee at home? Simply fill a glass with ice and press the brew button on your virtual pop machine to enjoy rich double espressos roasted to stand up even when chilled. Refreshingly bold iced coffee. Refreshingly easy to make at home. Visit Nespresso.com to shop now.
Hey, this is Bill Simmons from the Bill Simmons Podcast, here to help you make the most of your summer with Michelob Ultra, a superior light beer worth playing for. Play for it with the guys when you're competing to see who can sink more birdies on the golf course, because winning tastes even better with Ultra on the line. Play for Ultra. Fill your fridge with Michelob Ultra this summer. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025 Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
So Andre called his mystery person, and did that solve your issue? Are we saying that like basically you got saved by
a mystery person?
It took the mystery person to finally get my account all the way frozen until we could solve the rest. Wow. And then I think.
And what is frozen? What does that mean when they freeze your account?
It meant that no one can get into it. Not me, not them, not anyone, until I start, through, again, avenues and not directly dealing with Instagram to reset it. I needed to promise I would do double factor authentication. I had to promise I would get a whole new email for it. I had to promise that I would use
two-factor authentication,
good cyber hygiene.
Nice.
But not just that, but also what are they called? Those authenticators.
Yeah,
the authenticator app.
I got one, but I'd like to use it for everything, but I don't know how. It's hard. It's for you guys.
It's really not very intuitive, authenticator apps. I think they have a ways to go before they replace just basic two-factor authentication.
Yeah, and then I have those little. I copied some little codes to have as well. That's somewhere in my photos and but I have them. They're in there somewhere.
So you froze your account, and that's basically, it sounds like a digital timeout for, there was a fight in the playground, and they're like, everybody, you got to sit down and just chill. So then they figured out that you were you, and you could have your account back. But then they said, but only if you do all these things, and all the things that probably we preach here, minus the authenticator, because I don't use one, but I can't believe I just said that. I guess I'm going to download it tonight. Yes. And that is the part that Adam was talking about in the beginning, which is hackers assume there's going to be a moment when you're tired, when you're doing a juice cleanse, when you've got a baby, when you just got back from a trip, when. All these things that happen to us all the time, because they're sitting there like your friend who answers a text immediately. When you go, hi, how you doing? Fine. they're there. We're like, why didn't you say hi? And that's the problem is like, we're not, like, I'm just trying to have a life and brush my teeth. And by the time I got to the second side, I'm hacked.
The thing you have to remember all the time is we all have day jobs, whatever those day jobs may be, from raising a family, working for somebody, running a business, being involved in philanthropic activities, going to school. Whereas for these guys, we are their day job.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why they are sitting there.
Good point.
And they will text you immediately.
All right, Travis, I'm going to let Ivana do your job. Ivana, what is the list of things that you are now doing as a responsible person who's no longer going to get hacked?
Well, one, I'm learning more because I don't have everything figured out yet. Like I said, I have two-factor authentication. Obviously, I've changed all my passwords. I'm trying to use those crazy alphabet, number, symbol, googly eye emoji passwords that you can't remember.
Yep.
I have the authenticator, but I really don't know how to use that all the way, but I have it on my Instagram. I have saved those codes, how they give you, you can get four-digit codes.
They're
that you
like
can
the get
save
out of
for
jail
later.
free cards. Yeah.
Get out of jail free cards. I have those for a couple, and I have them somewhere secret places.
Which all of those were lies if you're listening to Hack Ivana. Though she doesn't have them written down. She has them tattooed.
I'm letting you down a wild goose chase, guys.
No, but you should consider, and we'll continue, you should consider getting a password manager. It'll make your life a lot simpler.
Writing that down.
But but Travis, hold on. Password. We just recently on adamlevin.com, I think you wrote the article, Travis, about 3-word passwords. So just like if people don't want to use a password manager, can you explain why a 3-word password might be a good move?
Sure. One thing that helps with password security is overall length. In other words, something that's 25 to 30 characters long is going to be would take a longer time to hack or breach than something that's 8 to 10 characters long. And so rather than having something along the lines of like @ lowercase k, exclamation point, uppercase S, etc., the recommendation, this came from the United Kingdom's cybersecurity sort of agency, is to string together 3 random words. And then if you want to, you can add a number or a letter to it. But 3 random words is about as hard, if not harder, for a hacker to guess as a bunch of random characters.
Really?
So if you were to just say floor lamp, wall clock, recliner, that is a very, very, very long password. That would take a very long time to be able to crack. Whereas something, even if it's completely and utterly random characters, if it's a mix of numbers, letters, alphanumerics, anything like that, that can still be cracked by a brute force attack if it's shorter. So
what's a brute force attack?
A brute force attack is pretty much where you have a machine or a program that goes through and tests out A, then B, and then like
That's
just
how I
kind
learned how to talk.
Exactly. Yeah. They
Computers can do it quickly. Programs can do it fast.
They can just throw like a million passwords just to see which one works.
I don't understand then why words wouldn't be easier to hack than random. Do you know? Because like once they start to get like, unicorns.
A single word
Suitcase.
a single word is really easy to guess. That's called a dictionary attack, where there are programs out there that have just the entire English language dictionary, and they're to try, they'd start with aardvark instead of A, and then work all the way down to, I don't know, zygote or something like that.
Travis, goodness.
But if you were to think about the sheer number of words that would be in a dictionary, for instance, and then if you were to take a second word and append it onto that, then that is exponentially more things that would need to be guessed. Then if you're to do 3 words, that's even more. So that's hundreds of millions, maybe even billions of possible combinations that even if you're using a dictionary, it would still take an extraordinarily long amount of time
to put them together.
Oh, you're hurting my brain. But don't use unicorn. You know why? Because I know you like unicorns.
Who doesn't?
So I don't. They freak me out with the horn.
And don't use a series of numbers that simply go up or go down in order.
But just don't let it be guessable. It can't be something that we know that you'll pick.
Right. And I think that's one of the other things to keep in mind, too, is that with password guessing, algorithms are things out there that if you were to say, go Mets 1, go Yankees 1, go Rangers 1, probably at some point one of these little programs will be able to say, go Giants. Or
then I think I have to change all my, hold on for a second. I have to get rid of the Yankee things.
We'll wait. But yeah, so the main thing, though, is the 3-word system is a good one because the fact that it's really long, it can't be very easily guessed, especially not by a algorithm or a sort of dictionary or brute force attack. And it's a lot easier to remember. I would remember floor, lamp, recliner, wall clock a lot more easily than I'd remember, at Z pound sign. Yeah, that's just that's gibberish. Where
it's really one word for those
brute
force actors.
Right.
AIs, right? That's one word that they'll get there eventually. It doesn't matter to them if you're spelling aardvark or.
Right. And the standard caveat, though, is that you could choose the longest password in the history of the world. It could be completely unguessable if you use it on every single account, and it only needs to get breached once.
Right.
It's kind of like the difference between an indecipherable password and a discovered password.
Exactly.
That might be indecipherable. But anyway, listen, this has been awesome, and heaven knows we could go on for hours. But we're going to have to call it to a close now. So from all of us to one of you, thank you so much for being part of this today. You were great.
Thanks.
Thanks, Ivana.
Thank you for having me.
What the Hack is a Loudtree Media production in partnership with Large Media. That's LARJ Media. You can find What the Hack wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to follow us on social media and find additional information at adamlevin.com. Loudtree.
Behind every empire are the people history tried to forget. Lost Roman Heroes tells the stories of the remarkable characters who shaped Rome from its mythical beginnings to its final fall.
Each episode blends armchair storytelling, sharp historical insight, and a bit of humor to bring these lost figures to life. From generals to scientists, from rebels to empresses, from priests to politicians, these lost Roman heroes have one thing in common.
They stood up for civilization when the bad guys threatened, and in doing so, they changed the course of human history. If you're into history that's vivid, surprising, and deeply human, this show's for you.
Behind every great meal is a person with a story to tell. Hear them on Culinary Characters Unlocked, the podcast that reveals the lives behind the food. Hosted by me, David Page, Emmy Award-winning journalist and creator of Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives, as I talk with everyone from culinary legends to mom-and-pop standouts about the creativity, grit, and passion that shape the food we love. Follow Culinary Characters Unlocked on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.